Good morning, weekly update of the outside markets, otherwise known as dollar index, gold, Bitcoin, and crude oil. Okay, this morning we got a economy report for the U.S. GDP. Didn't look good. Stock market's down sharply. People are now more worried. Yes, we're heading towards a recession, so we'll need to consider that. All right, here's the dollar index. And it really hasn't done anything since this surprising news. I'm kind of surprised here, actually. But it really should be pulling down into next week for level three. Level three is a monthly type of buy signal, buy sell signal, or a trend, an up move, down move, the more important move up and down during a month for a month, okay? And maybe there's something going on here that's going to stay up better than I think, but the best forecast is down by next week for the dollar index. Now, inside of that should be a level two business cycle that ought to be down into the week of May 12th on into the week of June 16th. In addition, it ought to be a level one business cycle. And we have a rare thing of two level ones combining that looks like the more real or larger business cycle, okay? So I think there's more downside coming for the dollar into May, June, primarily because bearish on the stock market and economy. So we're working it backwards really towards the dollar instead of looking at the dollar and saying, well, what does the dollar think of the economy and stock market? Okay, I shouldn't say instead. We're looking at both ways. But it is possible the dollar is willing to shrug off some of the future decline in the stock market and some of this bad news that it has dialed in a fair amount. And part of the reason is quite possible most of the money leaving the country has been seen, okay, even though there's more bad times coming. But what is the best forecast is the dollar index is going to trade below last week's low of 97.92 in coming weeks. Let's go to the gold market, and I do believe the dollar is on long-term bear market into late this year, maybe next. But we got some more work to do on that. Let's go to the gold market. Okay, the gold market backed off. And now looking a little buoyant here. It could back off for another 2 weeks into a level two bottom, but it's all set up the bottom now for level two. And there's the business cycle, extremely bullish, spent most of the time up, okay? This was probably just profit taking here. It is overbought, indicator rolling, acting more bearish. So if you're more bearish than I, go for it. The technicals are supporting it. But the best model forecast is this is going higher out of a level two bottom, and ideally we'll go to a record high into a level one top, probably in June, okay? That may coincide with a lower stock market, May and maybe June, and some economic issues still that they haven't bought enough gold to really dial in and be that comfortable. I think most of this long-term bull market this decade is over with, but I think there's more upside coming anyways as I look out into June. Now, how about those level threes? Well, the model is saying if it didn't bottom right there for level three and is having a little bit of a rough time going to the upside, then it really ought to bottom this week. It's saying it ought to be up next week, the following week, somewhere's in there for the next level three top. So I think this is probably a monthly buy signal in here somewheres. Manage your own risk. I don't try to do these outside markers as thoroughly as the stock market and the grains, okay? At any rate, I think there's a chance, and I think proof would be trading above 3363.8 would be evidence it is in a level three up move, and that may be the first leg higher of a new level two up move that's extending a level one up move that's extending the long-term bull market in gold. I don't see a reason to really hammer gold here. It would take an abrupt change of what we're on right now, and I don't see it. All right, Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin did do something to surprise me after watching it for so many years and have come to the conclusion, and most people, the way they market it, they don't know what they're talking about, and it'll really never be that important of a thing, but it's here forever probably for all I know, okay? But I've always thought that Bitcoin goes down during bad times, and this time around it decided to reverse here and actually be in line with gold, and is actually trying to act protective against a bad stock market, bad economy. At any rate, I think Bitcoin goes higher for a few more weeks here, and I think it's going higher because the stock market's going lower, economy's going down, but perhaps more so because gold's probably going back up as well. We do have to consider something might go wrong here, that suddenly Bitcoin falls apart because it wants to revert back to worrying over the economy and stock market, that people will dump it because they want the money, okay? So I don't know how to really, I'm bullish for the next few weeks. Don't know as I trust it, but I think it looks okay. It is due for a level 3 bottom this week if it wasn't placed last week. So there could get a little flakiness here. It is getting overbought, making us wonder how well can it really rally in coming weeks here. So again, it's looking as though it can go higher in coming weeks as the stock market goes down. That's opposite what it normally does. So I'm just warning you, something may go wrong here. I don't understand that was just a blip up and it's just going to go away. They're going to go back to what they normally do. So they may yet sell this and hammer it quite a bit, but the best forecast is it's going higher in the next few weeks. The people are going to buy it as the stock market's going down instead of selling it as the stock market's going down. This is crude oil, and there was a level 3 business cycle. Okay, monthly sell signal, monthly buy signal, monthly sell signal. And yes, it can bottom this week, but there's some weird things going on where I'm concerned it might not work for buying. And this was a level 2 sale within a level 1 sale, and the bottom isn't due to May 12th to June 16th. I think there's more downside in oil. I don't think it's worth buying here. We have enough global supplies, and the oil market is worried about the future of the economy and trying to compete to make people buy gasoline even though they're getting hurt, okay? And who knows if that'll work or not, but the point is, I think they're going to do it, all right, no matter what. I think they feel like they don't have any choice. I think this needs to go back to $55. Ideally, it will go below $55 on the prompt or spot continuous rollover futures chart, okay? All right, I think that's all I've got for you for those markets here. We have to be concerned of interference of weakening economy, tariff problems here, and it's the best I got for you. I think this is going to be accurate forecast for these 4 markets here. And I think they're really more followers of what's going on in the stock market economy and this and that. Other than Bitcoin's kind of interesting that it's willing to go up as the stock market's going down. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. Frankly, I think the tariff stuff is going to take quite a while to work through. If higher inflation's coming, it's coming later this year, I think. Okay, I don't know how bad that'll be. I think first and foremost, you just have to worry about the economy slipping towards recession, not worrying so much about the inflation that can still be a factor here. We have to worry that, the shelves are going to start turning empty in some of the stores here and things can fall apart and get rather crazy. Thank you.